Yeah. But yeah, I did try to. I failed. I failed. Alex is watching how you were notified. Well, the time is 6:30, so we'll call this meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pulaski,
Here.
Steve Forsythe. Here. Steve Down.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here.
Lisa.
And we have a quorum. We'll move on to presentation of the prepared agenda. Is there a motion to approve the?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We'll continue on to Village Board public comment. Anyone wish to provide a comment on a topic or an agenda item may address the Village Board in person during the public comment and public hearing segments of the Village Board agenda. Are there any members of the public here today that wish to address the board? Yep, if you would just come up to the podium and state your name for the record. Aye.
We are members of a board of homeowners association. We represent the Timberlake Townhome community located off of Roseburg. We are interested in starting a conversation with the Village of Roselle for regarding the driveway, the roadway that starts on Rodenberg and ends on Rodenberg. It's called Timberlake Circle. We're interested in seeing if the Village of Roselle would take over ownership for safety and maintenance purposes.
Okay, what I would just say is if you could provide your contact information to our village administrator over here to the side, we can certainly reach out and have a conversation. So, what I will say is the development was approved under the conditions that it was a private roadway. So, it's not that it's unlikely, but we'd have to discuss it, and it was just approved a couple of years ago. So, for that to be a change, we'd have to kind of figure out how that would occur from that side of things. But we'll exchange information. We can talk through that. So. Yep. Perfect. Thank you so much. Are there any other members of the public here to address the board at this time? The records show none. We'll continue on to officials and staff reports. Under my report today, I'm very happy to have a presentation provided to us by the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission. Wow, it's a mouthful tonight. I know a number of residents have submitted comments or emails to us discussing what they feel is an increase in noise. I know in my own home, I've noticed sometimes at night, based on the runway patterns and whatnot, increased traffic and whatnot. So we felt this is a great opportunity to educate the community as well as to learn a little bit more about the commission, which the village is currently not a member of. But perhaps as a result of this presentation, the board may want to consider joining. So with that, I'll turn over to our guests tonight.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Maura Almatanani. I'm the Executive Director of the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission. If we could go to the first slide. The commission is an organization consisting of 34 municipalities, 2 counties, 6 Chicago wards, and 18 school districts throughout the Chicagoland region. It was established under and still exists under an intergovernmental agreement.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you mind getting that microphone just a little bit closer to you? Sorry. We can hear you, but just barely.
We were formed.
Much better. Thank you.
and still exists under an intergovernmental agreement. We were formed in 1996. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year. We oversee noise programs for the city of Chicago, and we are industry recognized. We work very closely, as I'll go into a little more detail later, with the FAA and CDA, Chicago Department of Aviation. Our mission is to reduce the impact of aircraft noise in neighborhoods and schools through sound insulation programs and by advocating for quieter aircraft operations. We oversee programs to insulate homes and schools against noise through the Residential Sound Insulation Program and School Sound Insulation Program. We work with government agencies, aviation experts, and community leaders to protect the quality of life for those living near O'Hare. And the ONCC oversees the Fly Quiet program at O'Hare and encourages pilots to use designated nighttime runways and flight routines to reduce aircraft noise over residential areas with guidance provided through a regularly updated manual. And you may have heard in the news, we are working on a new Fly Quiet program. The former program was created with the previous runway configuration. So through the O'Hare Modernization Program, there are several new runways at the airport. Some runways have been decommissioned. So we are working with the CDA and the FAA to implement a new nighttime runway rotation program that would provide more stability, predictability for residents in the area. As I mentioned, the organization is formed under an intergovernmental agreement. It is renewed every 5 years. As I mentioned to Mr. Bilowski, we are in the process of renewing it. So we'll actually be renewing it this fall, and it would take effect in January of 2026. So if the village did decide to become a member, we just have to kind of figure out the timing of that, if you wanted to do it before that happened or wait until the new agreement takes effect. It is approved and executed by the City of Chicago and each ONCC member. And we do get this question, there is no membership fee. The commission is funded through the City of Chicago, the Chicago Department of Aviation. We are governed by bylaws. So the chief elected officer of each member entity serves as the official representative of the commission of the community or the member, and then they can appoint a designee or alternate. Up to 3 alternates are permitted, and they can act on the member's behalf, having the same rights and voting privileges as a member. And we do have a pretty strict attendance policy. We just ask that a member doesn't miss more than 3 consecutive meetings in a row. So it can be an alternate or a designee, just as long as somebody's there for the majority of the meetings in a year. We do have officers. So we have a chair, a vice chair, and a treasurer. We have an executive committee that's composed of the various committee chairs, as well as the officers. And then we have a few ad hoc members as well. So the executive committee kind of determines the policy. They conduct an annual strategic planning session, coming up with the goals and priorities for the year. And then those kind of filter down through the committees. And then the committees also bring issues to the general membership and vice versa. Sometimes the membership will come up with an idea that they want to see more information on, that'll go through the committee process. And I also just wanted to highlight a few accomplishments of the ONCC and the CDA through our programs. To date, we've insulated 12,029 homes, 124 schools. Fly Quiet program I mentioned was established in 1997 and is overseen by the ONCC. We have 43 permanent noise monitors throughout the region. And we do give annually Fly Quiet awards in the categories of aircraft carrier, regional carrier, and cargo carrier to airlines that are recognizing the airlines who are making an attempt to minimize impacts on the communities. And then just kind of to illustrate how we work with the other agencies, the ONCC is really kind of a conduit for our members to these other government entities. So we work very closely with the FAA, the Chicago Department of Aviation, to help, with planning and policy and answer the concerns and questions that our members bring to us as well. And kind of go the other way too, we help educate our members on construction projects at the airport, different policies that are coming out of the FAA, just so everybody understands kind of the framework that we're operating under. And just wanted to add too that we do offer many opportunities for members to explore, learn, and engage. We offer behind-the-scenes tours at the airport. We offer several workshops throughout the year that will really give a deeper dive into some of these highly technical issues and subjects. And then we also coordinate tours. This photo happens to be from the United headquarters, but we have also done tours at several FAA facilities and other facilities at the airport. So if it's something that any of you are interested in, or any of the staff, that's welcome to anyone. It doesn't have to be the official designee. Anyone in a member community who's interested is welcome to attend those. That wraps up my presentation, and I'm happy to answer.
Any questions from the board?
Funding is from Chicago,
It's from the Department of Aviation, yes.
and there's 3 runways now that are like east-west. Do they,
Actually, there's 5.
pardon,
There's actually 5.
5?
East-
And did they do away with the diagonal runways?
They did away with 2 of the diagonal runways, but there still are 2 other crosswind runways the other way.
So they would use that in their rotation if they,
Correct. If the wind conditions, the wind is always a factor in determining runway use.
And has there been recent construction that has maybe generated some change in the patterns recently that might be
and-
generating some extra noise this summer for people?
Yeah, that was something Mr. Pulaski did request some information on. And so construction on taxiway LL and roadway grading work on A5, A6 are causing an increase in 27 left departures and west flow, which might be what you're getting. And if you like, I can send over, I've got a presentation that we had. It was in May, but it's
Yeah.
still involving this work. So yeah.
No, that'd be fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions from the board?
we would just have more staff time on.
They meet, yeah, they meet quarterly. So this is something where like, there's also an opportunity if elected. So if someone from the board would like to represent us at one of the meetings, that's absolutely fine as well. I think Jason and I discussed that this is something that we think would be beneficial. We've been a part of the other coalition that's kind of led by Elk Grove Village. And I think that as we've kind of dived deeper into that and we see the evolving nature of what's going on at O'Hare, we don't know that that group is necessarily serving our best interest or our purposes all the time. And so I think joining ONCC wouldn't be a huge ask of staff's time. And I think we could also decentralize that into the board to help out as well. But it could be an opportunity to make sure that we're doing the best to advocate for us. And if you look at the map, I mean, it's kind of jarring that all of our neighbors except for us have joined at this point. So I think there's a moment to, if there's no financial commitment and it's mostly just us participating, I see no harm in us, trying to go down another avenue, especially given increased public input regarding noise. So board open to pursuing that?
Yeah, I'm for it and I can go to meetings as necessary.
Perfect. Me too. Well, we'll take the necessary steps in our end, but thank you so much for your presentation here tonight. And if you would share the information regarding the construction, that'd be fantastic for us to share with residents. So thank you again for coming tonight. The only other thing I would share, because it's shocking to say that it's right around the corner for us, but as we get to September, we've got a couple of important things coming up. So we are opening up our Parkway tree cost share program. So from September 1st through October 15th, residents can chip in half the cost for a tree to be planted in their parkway. So this is a good way to help our reforestation plans be expedited, as well as an opportunity for you to kind of have a say in the tree that may be showing up in front of your house. Otherwise, we do get to trees on an as budgeted basis and based on our forester's recommendations. So opportunity to legally cut the line and get in front and also help us stretch those dollars a little bit further. And also we've got the First Responders Open House coming up on Saturday, September 14th. So that's at 11 a.m. here on the municipal campus. So it's a little bit earlier this year. So usually it falls on a Bears game, and I didn't check the calendar this year, but it's always playing usually in the Firehouse one way or another if it is on. But a lot of exciting things to get to see what our team does up close and personal, as well as an opportunity for us to dedicate our first responders monument that will be going on the site of the police department. So excited to see that be erected and for us to dedicate that officially. So some exciting things coming up as we approach September and fall. So that's it for my reports. Are there any trustees that have a report tonight? Trustee Domke.
Well, the day before the open house, the safety open house, the Roselle Sister Cities Polish Committee is going to have Harvest Fest right outside here in the phenomenal Petal Plaza. And it's a community event. It starts from 4 o'clock till 10. There'll be wine, beer, food, local acts on stage, and a DJ to finish off the night. Good time for all, and we hope that you can all come out from 4 till 10, September 13th.
Great, thank you so much. Any other trustees have a report tonight? Seeing none, Village Clerk?
And I would like to welcome one of the newest Roselle residents, which is my niece, Katie Dubuque, who was born over the weekend. So Stephanie and Adam, if you are watching streaming, obviously they're not in attendance today. I just want to congratulate them for one of our tiniest residents.
That's
Welcome,
awesome.
Katie.
Congratulations.
Change the sign.
Yep. Village Attorney? Village Administrator? No report. Treasurer's report. Tom Dahl, Finance Director, presenting the July 2025 figures.
Year is moving by very quickly.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. It's both ways.
Yeah, it gets busier as the year gets close to the end. So in your packet tonight is the July Treasurer's Report. Just want to note the general fund ended the month with still with a surplus, about $464,000 through the year. Some of our major revenues. Sorry. The screen not working. Okay, so some of our major revenues, property tax, we got about $61,000 from DuPage County. Still waiting to hear about Cook County taxes. That plays a role in not only the revenue we receive this year, but calculations for the fire protection district, and also getting ready as we start getting close to the end of the year, doing the estimate of next year's property tax. So there's a lot of hand wringing over when we're finally going to get that. Sales tax for the month, this was for April sales, was about $376,000, which was an 8.1 increase over 2024. State income tax was about $417,000, a 9.2% increase. Ambulance billing was $144,000, a 30% increase over last year. And then local use tax, a whopping $17,000 for April collections, which is a 76% decrease, again, due to the changes that the state made in sales tax. Our sales tax, you can see, has gone up, but then the local use tax has gone down. And then natural gas tax, about $10,000, a little bit over that for June natural gas usage, obviously a month that doesn't see a lot of usage. Our top 10 food and beverage retailers, they account for about 44% of the tax, which is good. I think I mentioned several times before, but since we're broadened the base, we are seeing that we're not reliant on too many of those businesses. Most businesses from our last year of business licensing have registered through Cloud Permit. Still a handful that have not, but it's not a great number, and we're in contact with those. But we had our code enforcement employee go out and knock on doors and find that several have moved or they closed down, but a lot of them have just moved out of town. And then building permits were below budget through July 31st. So just interesting kind of noting those two things together, business licensing down, building permits down. Could be just a fluke, but could it be some signs of a slowing economy? I don't know, but I just wanted to point that out a little bit. And then the village continues to receive our community project funding, our Raja bucks, from HUD, which is good. That money is committed to us and we put in, applications every month to get that money and we're still receiving it. So very happy about that. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on the report that's in the packet.
Any questions for Tom today? Trustee Domke?
I don't understand home rule sales tax being 33%. Can you explain why that's not 58%? On the general fund revenue overview?
What page?
1. So you did mention that the
Oh, yeah, so,
rates are down, but.
yeah, right,
Cool.
right. So the home rule in the general fund, it's $20,000 every month. And that was the third month we've received, or the fourth month, I take that back, we received it. Because we didn't,
Okay.
the first 3 months of the year, it's,
April, like.
yeah, exactly. So it's, you start paying in January, the village doesn't receive it till April. So there's a 3-month lag. So
Perfect.
that's why. That's why I actually, thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. Because on page 2, I have that monthly
Get the
budget
page
versus
2 yet.
actual. What's that?
I didn't get to page 2 yet. I'm kidding.
But on page 2, I kind of changed up that budget versus actual because just to better reflect those revenues that some of them are on a cash basis, some are a 3-month lag or a 2-month lag, just to show that difference and kind of present that budget to actual a little bit differently than I have in the past. So just a little bit of change there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Tom? All right. Seeing none, you are free. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We'll continue on to unfinished business. First, we have the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, and non-controversial in nature, and will be enacted. There'll be no discussion of these items unless removed from the consent agenda. Are there any items to remove from the consent agenda tonight? Record show none. Tonight, we have presentation approval of the village board minutes of August 11th, 2025. Pass an ordinance approving a moratorium on the issuance of business licenses for massage businesses, and adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a contract between the Village of Roselle and Drum Mechanical Industries, incorporating the amount of $58,164. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Can we have the roll, please?
Aye.
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 That motion carries. We'll continue on with our other unfinished items. We have nothing under Development Engineering Services, Administration, Fire, or Police, but Public Works. Trustee Delapenna.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement between the Village of Roselle and Trotter and Associates, Inc. in the amount of $158,800.
Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Aye.
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 That motion carries.
Would you like me to continue with trustee Lanisis as well?
That would be fantastic. Thank you for volunteering. Finance.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable list for August 25th, 2025 in the amount of $2,424,935.24.
Second.
Any discussion on the accounts payable list? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Aye.
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 That motion carries.
I'd also like to make a motion to pass an ordinance amending Chapter 20, Article 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the Village of Roselle, Illinois Municipal Hotel Tax.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on this item? All I'll say is it's just leveling the playing field for those that are short-term rentals versus hotels, so they're all paying the same rates. So from a tax perspective, I should say. So there's no discussion. If we could have a roll call, please.
Aye.
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 That motion carries. We have no new business for discussion tonight. There is a second opportunity for Village Board public comments. Is there any member of the public that wishes to address the board at this time? Let the record show none. Is there any other business for discussion only amongst the board? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. Meeting's adjourned at 6:53. Thank you so much,